Hello, Think Natalia community. Today I have the honor of interviewing another very fascinating, kind and powerful woman out of my tribe. A client who turned into a friend, a woman who inspired many to think about business and life in a total different way. Her name is Eva Vati. She comes originally from Sweden. She has founded two companies. She's an entrepreneur, and one of the companies she actually founded yesterday. Woo! More about that in a second. She is a CEO. She is a board member for small and medium-sized businesses, and she is on a mission to help us doing business in a different way, to be kinder, to be nicer, to be more compassionate, and to do that in a sustainable way. But Eva, before I continue talking, welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Natalia. What a nice introduction of me. Thank you very much. It's really good to be here.
Thanks a lot. So tell us a little bit more about the company that you founded yesterday.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I will talk about what I do, and then the companies are doing different things within that. Mm-hmm. But I teach and certify individuals and companies on how to do better business. And that is done by development goals into business strategy. So that's very short what I do. And I also provide an online train the trainer certification course of how to do this. So that's in short what I do. And besides of that, I'm also working with boards, both privately held and companies listed on the stock exchange market. And well, I'm also a mother of two sons, wonderful sons. They are 12 and 15 soon. I do.
Awesome. More about the role of your sons when it comes to content strategy later on. Spoiler alert. So basically, when it comes to the certification, I think you're the only one in Sweden, if I remember correctly. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Quite an interesting niche that you have chosen. Something that you always wanted to do, or is it something that evolved over the years? Like, how did you build such a strong desire to do good? Because a lot of people that I know, they're floating a little bit and they're like, oh, I don't know what my mission is. I don't know how I should help other people. But when I met you, you clearly knew who you are and what you want to do. And you said, Natalia, this works, this works, this works. I know who I am. I just want the tools to spread my message with the world. So teach me. I was like, wow, amazing. How did you, how did you understand or when did you learn about yourself that this is what you want to do? What inspired you to do that?
Well, I think it all started like 12 years ago soon. Actually, I had a dream. I was waking up from a dream when I was traveling with my former husband and our two kids. And the dream, in that dream, it was like, I was asking myself of what should I do when I grow up type of dream. Okay. And, and I woke up from that dream because I was like banging my fist in the table and saying to myself that I should work for the United Nations. And I was like, just like, what? I had never, ever talked about the United Nations. But actually, that was when I started to learn about the United Nations. And I, parallel with my, professional life, I went to United Nations schools and really learned about the system and how they worked and what they did and why and so on. And actually, Sweden is a big contributor to the United Nations, the world's sixth largest contributor. But when it comes to business, we don't do business with the United Nations. We are like number 75 or 78 country on the list of countries doing business with the United Nations. And I was just like, how come we don't do business? Because the United Nations, they do large projects out there in the world and they are doing good stuff. And to be able to do these large projects, they need both professionals like consultants, but also technology. And in Sweden and the Nordics, we have really good technology that is suitable for those large projects. And so during these years, I just learned that to be able to do a transformation of the world, the United Nations actually has those projects out there in the world to become better countries. Yeah, it was my combination of my business mind with my sustainability heart that actually combined these two. And I have been working with a lot of change management and transformational management in business. So I combined these two, and then I started to work with the United Nations as a marketplace. And why I started this certification course was because I realized that when the United Nations, but also other publicly held, public procurement, but also private procurement, they are now requesting companies they want to procure sustainable. So they are requesting companies to have a sustainable solution for their products.
Yeah.
And I just realized that, oh my goodness, if I want to sell all these companies to the United Nations, they haven't done the homework of integrating the Sustainable Development Goals into their business strategy.
Yeah.
So that's when I just decided I need to do this. I need to teach people how to work with the Sustainable Development Goals in order to qualify for those for the procurement process. So that's actually why I do it, and that's why it's a train the trainer. So I teach and train others to do the work.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I thank you for doing that incredible work, because it's funny, I actually signed a contract with a big company a few days ago, and when it comes to the big when it comes to the paperwork, I had to sign 6 different pages on how I agree that I don't do this and I support this, and it was a lot about sustainability and about the culture and about nature and about like using fair wage and not employing child labor. I was like, how would I employ child labor? But they make like everybody sign that, right? So I was like, wow, I never had to sign something like this before, and I was surprised, and I absolutely love the fact that they went so much into detail talking about these things, because that also then tells me a lot about the core values of the company and how ethically that company is doing business, and they are successful. Because in my perception, but I'm not the expert, you're the expert, in my perception, a lot of people still believe when you say sustainable or when you say aligned with culture and human beings and nature, they think, oh, that's expensive, we're going to lose money. But that's nonsense, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you really need to do it to see it in your business, and how that investment in sustainability will give you a return on your investment. And it's more of a long-term return on the investment than the short one that we are used to. But it's actually, and actually United Nations has calculated that within this 17 goals, the Sustainable Development Goals and the Agenda 2030, there are business opportunities of $12 trillion per year. Actually, so it's really I really believe that those companies that do the transformation and integrate the goals into their strategy, they will become the winning companies of the future, because there are, 193 country leaders has agreed upon these goals. And the Agenda 2030. So the whole world is like, moving towards these wonderful goals.
Absolutely. Amazing. Let's shift gears for a second.
Yeah.
You approached me because I believe you needed a clearer communication strategy, if I remember well. But tell me a little bit
Yeah.
more. What was the initial challenge, and what did you expect out of my guidance with how you operate on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So when I approached you, then I had already developed my online digitalized train the trainer course. And I knew that I had to scale my brain in order to do a difference. But then I realized that I was on social media a little bit on LinkedIn and so. And actually, I had been following you for like, I think 2 years or something. I started to write articles on LinkedIn in March 2017. So I think I started to follow you somewhere there. And well, I realized somewhere there that I really needed to have a communication plan on how to reach out on social media, and especially LinkedIn, and also to dare to do these wonderful videos that you did. You know, I was really impressed. I was just like, wow, Natalia is so good. She's so crispy, and she has this all amazing content in short period, and she's funny, but also very professional. And so when I saw your, I think you were advertising about group coaching, and I just thought that I need a coach who can coach me and make me do these wonderful things, to make me to dare to do it, because I'm not a how do you say that, a person, I don't like to be on stage or be in the center, but I know that I need to be coached to do things like that.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we did. I pushed you into doing videos, and I know that there was a lot of resistance, how it always is. Like, I mean, no human being who's semi-sane likes to do things out of his or her comfort zone. But I admired your strength and the challenges that I provided you with. And you said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And you asked a lot of questions, but you got your first videos out there relatively quickly. And the interesting thing is that you also got support around it, right? Tell us a little bit more about it.
I think it was just in the beginning of summer. So you had the group coaching, and you actually, I think you said to me, well, Eva, when will you promise me to have your video within 1 week or 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, yeah. And I said, okay, I promise you that. And, when I promise something, I want to keep that promise. So I started to record it. And the recording wasn't the difficult stuff. It was actually using all these tools, like how to cut it, how to put filters on it, layers, and music and such.
Yeah.
So, and my son, Tim, he's soon 15. Kids are interested in this stuff, and they are hanging on YouTube, and and he was watching my first video, and he was just like, oh my God.
That's so not you. Oh my God.
Yeah. Actually, he said one thing that got my mind. He said like this, Mom, you look so happy, and this is not you. And I was just like, what? And actually, I told you that I have divorced my husband during this period of time, but that's another story. But he said something to me that made me realize that videos, I could, like, my passion could go through the video and reach people, and that's why I continue to do these videos. But so Tim, he started to help me out in the beginning to do all this cutting, editing
and music and filters and whatever,
and everything, and the apps, and but you gave also a couple of tips to us of which tools to use and so on. So yeah, he was helping me out in the beginning, and then now he's in school, and he doesn't have the time, but so I'm doing it. But actually I will hire a person now to do this editing and administrational work for me. So yeah.
Great. Okay. And you got a lot of positive feedback from your audience, right? You got messages and comments from people in your network who are like, oh my God, Eva, you're doing videos. They're amazing. We want more videos, right?
Yeah, actually, yes. So my first video was 1 minute long. So it wasn't so long, but 1 minute. And well, yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing that. But as I said, I'm not a person well, I'm kind of a shy person, but if I have something to say that is close to my heart and true to my heart, then there's no problem of doing that. But I have to practice, and dare to do it. So the feeling was like the first time I became manager when I was 23, 24. So I was quite young. And I still remember the first time I had to stand in front of my team, and I was so stressed and scared. I had to run to the bathroom. I was really like that. And that was also the same feeling when I did my first video and putting it out there on social media. I was just like, oh my God, I will die.
And that's the most normal thing. Thank you so much for openly talking about it, because the majority of people are like, no, I was professional. Everything was good. Bullshit. Everybody is sweating and counting the seconds. And it's like, what will people say? Will I get attacked by a hater or a troll? It's normal. Oh.
Yes.
Okay, but not only that, you then after a few months also dared to speak on a stage. Not only that, a stage in front of, what was it, 600 people?
Yeah. Well, it was, I think, my biggest performance up until now. And it was a stage here in Sweden. And I was talking about Suddenly It Happens. That was the theme of the talk, and it was more or less about my personal journey. So, but it was really fun to do it, and I think this is also connected to one another. Doing the videos, doing the talk on that stage, and also in my personal life, doing all these transformational things that has happened to me during this couple of month team or group. So when you start to do things that are uncomfortable for you, challenging stuff, then it tends to, well, you become your, and that will transform other parts of your life, I believe.
Absolutely. And I think that the group that was working with you, because right now we have like a whole new cohort. So you were part of the first cohort. I think the group was very encouraging, and you were challenging each other, and you were laughing about each other's fears and making sure that you get your videos out there. And so I personally felt as if there was a lot of positive energy in it, and that through that, you really applied things, and you applied them super fast, and you also got the visibility and the fact, people then talked about you, they approached you, and this is in the end what we wanted to achieve with your LinkedIn strategy. So what was one of the biggest game changers, or what is it that you now do in a totally different way when it comes to your personal brand?
Well, it's more to how do you say that? To be more true to yourself, and to be more authentic, and not care that much about how it looks, and it has to be in a certain way and so on. I think social media is to talk from your heart, actually, and get your audience hooked because then something amazing happens. It's like, you know, putting filter on your videos. You don't need to do that, actually. Just be really authentic and real and true about teaching and so on. So that's what I've learned during this period, that actually what you say and your message.
Yeah.
And of course you need to, you know, think of some things like the sound and subtitles, and you know, so that people can when they don't have the earplugs and so on. So technical stuff you need to know, but yeah, to be just you. I think that's the most
yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter if you have a pimple here or not. That only bothers people in the beginning, and then once you just do like 50 videos, you're like, everybody has pimples and there's shadow here and that's not perfect. I don't care, because it's about the content, it's about the message, it's about the authenticity, it's about communicating from your heart, exactly as you said. I'm fully with you. All right, exactly. Eva, so what kind of people should connect with you on LinkedIn?
Well, I think people that want to make a change and better business, and people that care and are ready to you know, to make this transformation, both within themselves, but also at company. That's most probably it's like people who are change leaders, change managers, business coaches and such. They could connect with me, and I could teach them the sustainable development goals and how they can integrate it into their business. And I've been I've had now like 60 plus a certification course, and they are all from like individuals that have their own company, like consultants, but also bigger company, and they are like CFOs or sustainability manager, business coaches, and type of people that should connect with me, because I'm teaching the strategy about how to think and how to do it when you are integrating into you need to be a business minded person.
Okay, amazing, great. So I'll definitely make sure that I link to your profile below this video. And once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for leading by example. And it was beautiful to watch your journey of growth. And it was just this like a small sneak peek. It was 8 weeks. I continue observing the growth, and as always, you know, if you have any questions or anything, you can always get back to me, and I'm sure that in the very near future, most probably our paths will also cross, because we haven't met yet in person yet, but well, you know, the world, business, I'm sure we're going to meet in very, very soon.
Absolutely. I look forward to it, Natalia, for this wonderful coach of the coaching program that you had, and I'm really lucky to have found it. And actually, I said that is, but it was when you somehow, then I just realized, wow, I could actually hire you as my coach. I was really happy. So when you also said that, we could do this together. I met you, and I also hope that our path will cross, and I'm certain it will cross somewhere in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Natalia.
Thanks, Eva. And for everybody who watched this interview, our conversation, who wants to know more about LinkedIn, how to turn that into your core marketing or sales platform, I invite you for a strategy call. No strings attached. Simply go to coachingwithnatalia.com, have a look at the letter that I've written for you if you resonate with it. Then once again, simply fill out a super short form so I know a tiny little better who you are and what you want to do. And during the strategy call, we're going to have a look at where you are right now, the goals that you want to achieve. And then based on that, we're going to build a LinkedIn strategy for you. So if that sounds good, I'll see you on coachingwithnatalia.com and we talk very soon.